Warhol's early films are characterized by static cameras, unedited takes, banal subjects, and often extreme durations. To shoot a film like Empire, which has an impressive running time of just over 8 hours, Warhol would set the camera on the subject and allow the whole reel of film to run through, recording the subject without interruption. He would then repeat the process with however many rolls of film he had available or wished to use, and these uncut reels added up to the final running time. Empire purportedly consists of 10 reels. Warhol's films are often considered an exercise in boredom, and they require a stubborn diligence to sit through. They are, in many ways, unproductive time. In the book The Emergence of Cinematic Time, Marianne Doan writes about how time was reconfigured in the wake of industrialization. In the late 19th and early 20th century, time was expected to be precise and efficiently used. A whole theory of work called Taylorism emerged to increase efficiency on the assembly line. Doan writes, "The goal was to eliminate unproductive time from the system." The desire to eliminate wasted time seeped into other areas of life, including the arts. In film, we see a version of modern efficiency represented in continuity editing, a key component of classical Hollywood style. In continuity editing, the unproductive components of narrative are excised, with cuts and close-ups focusing our attention on actions that move the narrative forward. Narrative efficiency is prized. Movements or passages of time that hold no significance for the story are not even filmed, instead elided by fades and dissolves in match cuts. And inefficient movements, like a bad take where an actor flubs a line, get left in the editing room dustbin. Warhol's films do the exact opposite. Avant-garde scholar P. Adam Sidney writes, "Warhol made the profligacy of footage the central fact of his early films, and he advertised his indifference to direction, photography, and lighting. He simply turned the camera on and walked away." Even in a movie like Kitchen, which does include something approximating a narrative scenario, the filmmakers refuse to remove the unproductive takes. The camera stands immobile, recording every missed line and silly mistake, and all of this is left in the final film for us to watch. Through his treatment of duration, Warhol's films make obvious the irreversible linearity of cinematic time. To borrow a phrase from French film theorist André Bazin, we might say that Warhol embalms time, but he does so in a manipulative and not an objective way. His films are not pure documentary. For the silent films, he insisted they be projected at 16 frames per second, though they were shot at 24. This can slow what would potentially be an approximately 5-hour film into 8 hours, as with Empire. In films like Blow, Job, or Eat, it also gives us the feeling that the subject is moving in slow motion, increasing the abstract qualities of the content. Malcolm Legree's comments on the audience reaction to a film like Empire: "This kind of exposure inevitably results in a breakdown of involvement in the film. Attention drifts, and the film becomes an exercise in endurance." This is a stark contrast to most narrative cinema, which seeks to engage the audience on some level. Even in art cinema, which can include lingering takes and subversions of continuity editing, there is still usually some effort to engage the viewer on an intellectual or spiritual level, even if not always on a narrative level. But with some of Warhol's films, we might wonder whether there's any effort to engage the audience, or if perhaps the extreme presentation of unproductive time is part of the provocation. Personally, when I view a Warhol film, I frequently find my mind turning inward, away from the screen. My concentration drifts back and forth, in one moment hyper-aware of the scratches of this particular print, in another moment planning tomorrow's tasks or composing email replies in my head, only to then force my mind back. Perhaps it's a testament to modernity that it's so difficult for our minds to spend time wholly unproductively, and perhaps that's what Warhol was getting at all along. I'm Laura Ivins. Thank you for watching.